We're not even talking about an inch in some areas, but we're talking about really light, fluffy snow on top of that layer of ice. And so we're seeing that impact on the roadways and that impact slick roads. So take your time, be careful. These cold temps are gonna stay with us as we go through the rest of the day. That sun is coming up and out, but it's not gonna be really melting all of this away. I don't know what caused the crash, but right now I can tell you we do have a light mix coming down. We have some very small flurries being mixed in, some rain droplets still coming down. It's very cold and the roadways are still wet. So on top of that, there are some slick conditions. So just be very careful if you are out there driving, and if you're going out, bundle up. It is a cold morning. And if you're wanting to shovel, well, you're probably going to be dealing with what we call heart attack shoveling because of all of this liquid. We're seeing that snow melt, and as we see that snow melt, it's weighing down that light snow that you think is light, but it's really not. So don't push yourselves while you're out here. This can just in a few minutes become very tasking on the body. When I was going towards Carrier Mills, Harrisburg, I noticed the precipitation was changing a little bit. We are now going westbound, going back towards Marion, and I'm noticing the flakes are becoming a little bit bigger, and with that, the roads are a lot more slick now. You've probably heard of El Nino, or the El Nino Southern Oscillation. It's one of the most famous seasonal influencers. The warm version of these events is El Nino, where the trade winds are weaker, allowing warm water to build off the west coast of South America. The cold version is called La Nina. During La Nina events, the trade winds are stronger than usual, pushing more warm water away from South America and toward Asia. When the warning goes off, this is the time to seek shelter.
The basic safety rule is to get to the lowest part of a building and put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. It's just trying to protect yourself from that flying and falling debris, which does the majority of the injuries and fatalities.
Even in the strongest tornadoes, that's sometimes not enough. As Graves County Emergency Management Director Tracy Warner saw firsthand.
Unfortunately, the way the tornado came through Mayfield, a lot of homes were completely flattened.
Wind so strong it drove pieces of siding into trees. If you're driving and you become stuck on the ice or the snow, you can always use your car floor mats. Just wedge it under your tire. It'll help give you some extra traction. If that doesn't work, you can always use sand or cat litter.
So a scenario that could happen if you slide off the roadway is your vehicle dies. And if that's the case, you don't have any heat. Hypothermia in those situations can set in very rapidly. So it's important to make sure you have preparedness materials in your car that can keep you warm.
It's also just as important to make sure that you're keeping up with your car's maintenance and that you have the proper tires for your car. Continuing north along Route 15, slow traffic caused by that flooding. In Washington County, a secondary dam failed, flooding part of Nashville. A portion of Route 15 on the east side of town was closed because of that rushing water. For the winds gusting at times over 50 miles per hour, you can get some damaging winds, of course, out of that. So if you have any Halloween decorations out there, well, I hope they're not getting tossed around too badly, but you can see all across even our Tennessee counties there after Tiptonville, continuing to track north. That sun is shining and it's nice, but the thing that's not really nice are our temperatures right now. We had a clear sky overnight, so temperatures were allowed to fall, and we got that frost developing, but look at that, Mount Vernon sitting at 19. Further down in the south, a little bit warmer, still below freezing in some areas. Kennett sitting at 32. So all across the board, grab that jacket, but don't forget to grab the sunglasses. We're talking about warmer temperatures on the way, feeling more spring-like on my springometer, and eventually we will be warming up for the weekend because we're actually going to be seeing more chances of sun. Those winds from the north-northeast, 7 miles per hour, are going to stay light today. Temperatures into those upper 40s today. By the time we go into our Sunday, more sun, emphasis for your Sunday. We're going to be into the 50s, and we're talking about above average temperatures, and we're in February, so our threat checker bar is staying nice and low over the next few days, especially as we go into Monday. We'll notice those clouds increasing, so enjoy these temperatures while you can, because we are going to notice some changes on the way. But as we go into our Monday, I showed you what the weekend's going to look like, right? But now let's look at our Monday. Right now we are under a wind advisory. This is going to be
be encompassing most of our viewing area until about noon today. But even if you're not included in this advisory, you're probably still feeling the impacts of that wind. And even after we get to the afternoon hours, you're still going to notice those winds out there. Now, I mentioned some of those areas that aren't into that advisory. Fredericktown coming in at 20 miles per hour, Ellington at 26, a little further to the south, Portageville at 27, Murray 32 miles per hour, and we actually took away Carbondale that had a 44 mile per hour wind gust. So it's been very windy out there, and it's all thanks to this low pressure that's been right over our area, bringing some of those scattered showers to us. Notice that we have Nicole all the way down to the south there into Florida. These two come together. Well, this cold front says, see you later, Nicole, and we get this cool air that's just going to be coming in from Canada, and it's going to be very cool. Here it comes in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is going to be around for a while, so you're going to want to make sure that you have everything that you're going to need to prepare for this, because we're not just talking about the cold, right? We're talking about maybe our first white Christmas in a while. We notice these winds coming from the northwest. We're already starting to see those right now, but gusting at times over 25 miles per hour. It's bringing in this dry air from the north, and we're going to be dealing with some of those elevated fire conditions. So try to avoid the outdoor burning. I know that a few counties do still have their burn bans in effect.
We've got you covered. From WSIL, this is News 3 at 10.
Well, good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Saturday evening. I'm Emily Pike, in for Danny Valle, who has the evening off. We're joined right off the top with Storm Track 3 meteorologist Katie Melvin with the forecast, talking about some chances of rain on the way.
We're talking about someone dead, a woman shot, a child shot, another child injured, another person shot. Over what?
Well, new this evening, 5 people have been shot in Baltimore, with 1 confirmed dead. Among those shot are 2 children, ages 2 and 6. The shooting happened around 6:30 this evening. Police have 1 suspect in custody. The shooting is under investigation, and we will update you as we learn more. Until then, the mayor of Baltimore had this to say.
I see a lot of folks trying to be acting like they tough, but they really weak, because only weak people shoot somebody when you know children are right there. And if you harboring that person, if that's your homeboy, if that's your man, if that's your cousin, I don't care who it is, then you're weak too. And we need to step up and be better for ourselves.
Some very strong wording out of that. And the Memphis Police Department taking new action tonight following the death of 29-year-old Tyree Nichols after a traffic stop. The police chief disbanding the specialized unit, the 5 former officers facing second-degree charges in Nichols' deaths. ABC's M. Wynn has the latest from Memphis. And as a warning, the video you're about to see is graphic.
Vowed to push Congress towards again. In Memphis, M. Wynn, ABC News.
And across the seas, 2 deadly attacks in Israel, with tensions rising. It's being called one of the worst terror attacks in a few years by police. This morning, 2 people were hurt in a shooting that happened in the City of David area of Jerusalem. Israeli police say at least 7 people were killed and at least 3 injured in a shooting near the synagogue in Jerusalem. That shooting taking place Friday evening. An early morning traffic stop in Paducah leads to an arrest. A deputy with McCracken County Sheriff's Office stopped this woman. Well, coming up, a K-9 stuck in a police SUV just moments before a tornado sweeps through. See how all that plays out, and could we be seeing more chances of rain in the future? Storm Track 3 meteorologist Katie Melvin will bring you more in her forecast. You're watching News 3 at 10.
How come we've seen these very strong winds, and we've been watching a lot of these trees, and I haven't seen the trees actually come down. I've seen a lot of debris from branches, that sort of thing.
That is a really good question. I haven't really seen that either, but we might as the back wind starts to come back over. So we have the eye wall that's passing. I think it's already going right now.
getting pretty large.